take a look at how to subtract really large numbers. So I have a problem here that tells me to subtract 421,543,298 minus 1,264,865. So I've got some work cut out for me. What I'm going to begin with is writing down my first number nice and neatly, because then I need to make sure that I line up all the digits of my second number really neatly with the first. So let's start with 421 million, and then I'll make a nice comma there to separate my hundred thousands here. 543,000, nice clear comma, 298. Okay, now I'm going to subtract this 1,264,865, and I want to make sure I have it correctly lined up. So remember, one way to do this is to make sure that your ones places are neatly lined up, and then you line up all your numbers after that, and you'll have your commas in the right place, and your ending number will end up right here in the correct position as well. So here I have 865 at the end, so I want to make sure and line up my numbers nice and neat, my comma. Then I have 264,000, so I like to write this one next. 264 there, another comma, and my 1 right underneath my 1 in the millions place here. And I do a big straight line there. So let's make sure that we have written our numbers nice and neatly. Let's make sure that we have them all in neat columns and that everything lines up correctly before we begin our work. So I have my 421,543,298. Okay, I wrote that one correctly. And then over here I have my 1,264,865. Good, so my numbers are written correctly. And then I come over here and I just want to check on my columns. I've got my ones place, tens place all lined up, hundreds place all lined up, my commas are lined up, and then over here in the thousands and 10,000s and 100,000s place nice and neat. I can see which digits go together in each number. Got my 1 millions lined up here, and then here and here, since I don't have digits here, sometimes just to keep myself organized, I'll put a couple zeros here at the beginning just to hold their places there. So now I can begin my work of subtraction. So I want to start always in my rightmost column with the digits in the ones place. So over here I've got 8 minus 5, and this is a nice, simple, straightforward answer. 8 is larger than 5, and so I can take 5 away from 8 and come up with a one-digit positive answer. So 8 minus 5 equals 3, and I want to neatly write my 3 lined up there in my ones place. And then I move over to my tens place, and I've got 9 minus 6. And that's no problem again. 9 minus 6 equals 3. So I put my 3 here. Now as I move over to my hundreds place, I can see that I'm going to have a little bit of a problem. I have 2 minus 8. And 8 is greater than 2. And so I'm not going to be able to take 8 items away from 2 items. And so I have to borrow. Whenever I get to a number that the number on the top is smaller than the number on the bottom, I am going to need to borrow 1 from the next highest place value. So with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from this 3 here. I'm going to borrow 1. So I'm going to take this and cross it out, and I'm borrowing 1 from the 3. So I'm going to place a 2 above it because I'm taking 1 away. And I'm moving it over here to this next lowest place value, and instead of having it a 2, I make it a 12. And so now I've got 12 minus 8, which equals 4. And I can place that right there in that hundreds place position. Now I've got my comma, which I want to go ahead and line up and make sure I have there. And I move over to my next highest place value and look at the subtraction there. So again, I'm having this problem. I've got a smaller number on top and a larger number on the bottom, which tells me that I'm going to have to borrow. So what I do is I look here and I say, 2 minus 4. I can't do that. I need to have this 2 be larger than the 4. So I borrow from the next highest place value, and I borrow here from this 4. And so I take the 4 and cross it out and make it a 3 because I'm borrowing 1 from it. And instead of this being just a 2, I now make it a 12. I borrowed 1 from this previous position, or from this next highest place value. So now I've got the problem of 12 minus 4, which equals 8. And I put my 8 here. And moving over one more position, I start working now. I have to make sure that my columns are nice and neat, and I see that what I'm working on here is a 3 minus 6. And again, I have this problem of the number on top is smaller than the number on the bottom. And so I can't take 6 away from 3. So I have to borrow again from the next highest place value. So I'm going to borrow from this 5 and make it a 4. And instead of having this just be 3, it now becomes 13. So now I can do 13 minus 6 equals 7. I place my answer there. And I move over now to the next column, which is now my 4 minus 2. Nice straightforward answer of 2. My comma. 1 minus 1 equals 0. And I don't think I have to do any more borrowing now. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 4 minus 0 is 4. So I did all my borrowing right through here, and I came up with my answer of 420,278,433. Make sure that you line everything up nice and neat and keep your numbers and your columns really clear so that you can avoid making mistakes.